I got interested in running just as something I thought I'd try. It wasn't anything spectacular or great. My goal had originally been to play football in high school, but I was told that it was a risk, a bigger risk with someone with my condition.
Justin didn't do a lot of sports growing up, and when he got to high school, he wanted to be involved. And at the time for junior high, they make all the students do 3 half-hour physical activities outside of class every week. And one of the things he would do is he would go out and run on a treadmill that we had in the garage. And I forget how long he'd run. He'd run for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever the requirement was. And I suggested, I said, well, what about doing cross country? He said, no, that sounds like a good idea, that looks like that'd be fun. I sent the head coach at the time an email, and he said, absolutely, have him come on out. So that's how he got started in cross country.
In the beginning, it was definitely not as easy as it is today. There were times where I wasn't sure if I was going down the right path for choice of sport.
When he started running, we would go out for a run and he would fall. And 9 out of 10 times he'd just get back up and we'd just keep running and finish the day. And he'd have bloody knees and bloody elbows. And, after he probably fell a half a dozen times in the first couple of weeks, I'm going, I'm not sure this is gonna work. But he never said, oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Setting goals with my dad and figuring out what we needed to do, what really told me that I should stick with it is when I achieved my season-long goal in the first race. But I knew I still had a long way to go.
When he first started running, when I emailed Coach David, I said he may never win a race, but he can finish. He'll do the work. And his senior year in high school, they opened up Paralympic events into the CIF State Championship track and field meet. So Justin competed at the state track meet for the first ever Paralympic event and competed in the 200 and the 400 meters and was the 400 meter state champion in the Paralympic division. So, again, even we underestimate. I start with his running career with saying he may never win an event, and his last one in high school, he's the state champion. It's unbelievable.
It was kind of interesting. I actually saw a story of Justin on the internet. Somebody was interviewing him after a cross-country race in high school, and I just thought that seemed like a really cool kid, pretty humble but definitely determined. And so I reached out to his coach, just randomly through email, didn't know who he was, and just said, hey, I saw this video of your athlete, and he seemed like a really cool kid, and you're lucky to have somebody like that. So that was it. I just reached out to him like that, and then the coach contacted me, maybe 6 months later in the spring, and told me about Justin's story and about him wanting to go to the University of Oregon and being accepted And but just not having the funds to pay for that out-of-state tuition, but really his dream was to go to the University of Oregon. And so the coach just contacted me to see if what we could do, if there was anything we could, just brainstorm ideas on how to get him here.
Once I heard about the UFO and what a great place it is for this culture, I knew I wanted to come here.
Our coach at the time found out we weren't going to be going to the University of Oregon. The out-of-state tuition was just more than we were willing basically to borrow, because that's the only way it was going to get done. And he emailed John and said, is there anything you can do? There has to be a way for this kid to go to his dream school. As much work and effort as he's put into track and cross country academically as well to get accepted to the university. And so John rallied a group of people and started helping fundraise to get Justin to the University of Oregon. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. And I tell him we can never really thank him enough.
My head coach notified us that one of the Nike guys had reached back out to him, and if it weren't for both of them, I wouldn't be here. And the Nike team has done tremendous efforts in fundraising for me to be at UFO, and supported me along my running journey. It's been a really amazing experience.
What we did is we started raising this money and people started getting excited about it. We actually invited Justin when he was still in high school to come up to campus, and we put on a little fun run. And that was another fundraiser. People just brought a donation, and I think we collected another a couple $1,000s just doing that. And so people got to know him personally. And that was about the time where we started working on the Flyease project, which is a series of shoes for people with mobility issues who can't necessarily tie their own shoes or put their shoes on their own because of issues with mobility. And so it just worked out perfectly. Here Justin was a runner that puts in a fair amount of mileage, and so we started working with him to help us improve our shoes, the Flyease shoes.
Yeah. What was it about it that you feel like it wasn't
I feel like the strap was too big, and it came around all the way to here rather than here. These shoes are going to help a lot of people. From people that can't tie their shoes to people that have trouble bending over to tie their shoes. I believe this shoe is going to make a statement in the world of sports and athletics.
I'm so excited to have Justin Gallegos come up here and join us and share his story next. Justin is a University of Oregon student, part of the Oregon Ducks running club, and a proud Nike athlete representative. Justin Gallegos.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. I think I have a lot to tell, and I think disabled people sometimes get the norm where they're always upset and they feel sorry for themselves, or they're always depressed. And me, I think that plays a factor as to why I want to be a motivational speaker, because I want to show that I may be disabled, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those norms are true. In my opinion, I have a very positive outlook on life. I believe no matter what people say about this or that or whatever it may be, you just gotta try and be positive. Try and focus on your goals and your aspirations and not care so much about what other people are worried about. And I think that plays a big role as to why I want to be a speaker, and as well sharing my story. I'm just like everyone else on the starting line. I'm racing to be competitive, not just to have fun. You have fun while racing, but I'm racing to be competitive against everyone and mostly against myself.